U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken began his three-day visit to China with a visit to Shanghai. In addition to meeting with a local businessman, he attended a Chinese league basketball game and had lunch at a local restaurant. Secretary of State Blinken noted that U.S. President Joe Biden is committed to direct and long-term dialogue between states despite the growing tensions in relations.
We have an obligation for our people and indeed an obligation for the world to manage the relationship between our two countries responsibly. That is the obligation that we have and one that we take very seriously. And I think the direction from President Biden and President Xi was to continue to build those lines of communication, to sustain them, and again, to deal directly with our differences, as we also seek to build cooperation.
The U.S.-Chinese negotiations are aimed at resolving Beijing's claims in the South China Sea, U.S. efforts to reduce dependence on the Chinese technology and manufacturing sector, and China's role in Russia's war against Ukraine. In particular, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken should raise the issue of Beijing's support for the Russian military-industrial complex at meetings with Chinese representatives. The United States accuses China of transferring machine tools, microelectronics, unmanned technology and gunpowder ingredients to Russia. However, as U.S. Permanent Representative to NATO Julian Smith noted in a comment to Politico, there is no evidence that China is providing assistance to Russia with lethal weapons yet.
The PRC, People's Republic of China, cannot claim to be entirely neutral in this case, and they are in fact picking a side. I think when the PRC tries to portray itself as neutral when it comes to this war, we don't buy it. We see, in many cases, the flow of dual-use components that are in essence enabling Russia to undertake this unprovoked war aggression in Ukraine. Julian Smith, United States Permanent Representative to NATO, in a comment to Politico.
China will try to negotiate. It traditionally positions itself as a party outside of a conflict and very firmly insists on this. But at the same time, China strongly supports the Russian economy, and here China will have to make certain concessions.
If China does not give in, the United States will take punitive measures. Among other things, these may include additional sanctions against Chinese banks and various firms. However, according to experts, China will do what is economically beneficial for it.
China will continue to make money from Russia. When we hear from Russian propagandists that China is helping Russia or China is providing assistance to Russia, we must replace the word helps with conducts normal economic activity. As long as Russia has money and is ready to buy something, China is ready to sell it. China makes very good money from Russia. Chinese businessmen earn very good money. But they do not provide Russian assistance for free. Nobody sells Chinese cars or machine tools just like that. Russia pays for them. And China is very pleased with this and is very happy.
Since the start of the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, China has been trying to have a foot in both camps. Beijing does not condemn Russian aggression and does not impose sanctions against the Federation. Following economic interests, China only increased its presence in the Russian market and began to buy raw materials from the Federation at huge discounts. At the same time, as stated by China's permanent representative to the UN, Geng Shuang, the state supports the territorial integrity of Ukraine. Reported by Kolesnik, Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.